What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners for today's 9-game NBA main slate, courtesy of Osmo.com and presented by SuperDraft. As I mentioned yesterday, the Four Corners is now sponsored by SuperDraft.com, so go check them out, give them some support. But more importantly for you guys, because of them, you now also get a free month of Osmo Plus. All you have to do is like this video and comment your best value play on the slate down below. I'm going by Draftkings salary, picking it every day. Nobody got the guy yesterday correct. It was Ivica Zubac. So get weird with it. Pick whoever's going to be your best raw value play overall. And if you are correct, you'll be entered to win a free month of Osmo Plus thanks to SuperDraft.com. But as always, we have no time to waste here in the Four Corners or my work schedule, so let's get to it right now with our first corner of the top owned plays. And Rashawn Holmes versus Portland looks like he'll be popular with 112.3 implied points for Sacramento. Holmes currently projects for 33% expected ownership on Draftkings and FanDuel. Holmes stands to see more minutes as a 1.1 fantasy point per minute player with the absence of Marvin Bagley, but there is some risk the Kings go smaller with Harrison Barnes at the 4 against the Portland team without a ton of size outside of Hassan Whiteside. And another highly owned play looks to be Nikola Jokic in a matchup versus Phoenix, in which there are 116 implied points for Denver. Jokic will be a top owned play on DraftKings at 27% expected ownership, while have just 12% on FanDuel. Jokic saw less minutes due to foul trouble in the opener, and he's likely too cheap on DraftKings, but even at a reasonable price on FanDuel, he has a big opportunity going against the Phoenix team, who's down DeAndre Ayton and will start the cagey but mostly limited Aaron Baines. And another guy whose aggregate ownership will be high is Drew Holiday in a matchup versus Dallas, in which there are 115 implied points for New Orleans. Holiday has 16% expected ownership on DraftKings, but will be a top-owned play on FanDuel at 28%. Drew had a mediocre debut thanks to a 6 for 15 shooting day, but he played 41 minutes in that overtime game. His price is likely too cheap on FanDuel, but a little tougher to get to on DraftKings given a lot of mouths to feed and lead ball handlers as well in that New Orleans lineup. And now into our next corner, the top values on the slate, and Daniel Theis versus Toronto looks pretty good with 108.8 implied points for Boston. Enes Kanter is out for a few games, and Theis was his direct backup, with Robert Williams also in the mix, but Theis is a 0.98 fantasy point per minute player, projects a solid value. He picks up a majority of Kanter's 25 minutes from the opener. And a value play I'm willing to go back to the well for is Dwayne Dedmon in a matchup versus Portland, in which there are 112.3 implied points for Sacramento. The blowout may have cut Dedmon's minutes as he saw just 14 in the opener, but the lack of Marvin Bagley and Harry Giles could offer him more of a role with less ownership than Rashawn Holmes. And a guy who did well for us last time with low ownership, I'm going back to Marcus Morris versus Brooklyn in a matchup in which there are 110.5 implied points for the Knicks. Morris looks to be one of the top projected values again with a steady role, especially by Knicks standards, that included 39 minutes in the opener along with 18 shot attempts. And now onto our next corner, the game stacks, and let's talk about Minnesota at Charlotte in a game in which there were 227 combined points. Karl Anthony Towns is an elite stud with no Cody Zeller in the mix, and Marvin Williams serving as the backup center in the opener, while Charlotte should be able to run back with some production from their mid-priced and young core. I'm also intrigued by Chicago at Memphis in a game in which there are 222.5 combined points. Memphis played at the league's fastest pace in the opener with 114.7 possessions, while Chicago has guys like Zach LaVine and Larry Markkinen who have big upside in a game that projects to be competitive. And I'm also intrigued by the game with Dallas at New Orleans, in which there are 228 implied points. Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis should see a lot of opportunity in a high-paced matchup, and guys like Josh Hart and Nikola Melli on the other side are still exceedingly cheap, despite a decent likelihood of seeing solid minutes again after they had 28 and 20 minutes in the opener respectively. And for our last corner, let's hit on the dart throws on the slate and kick it off with Nemanja Bjelica in a matchup versus Portland, in which there are 112.3 implied points for Sacramento. Bjelica and Bogdan Bogdanovic are cheap and also candidates to see more minutes with Marvin Bagley out if Rashawn Holmes doesn't pick up the start as his direct backup, and he can also earn more court time with their play. And Aaron Baines at Denver may just need to see minutes with 105 implied points for Phoenix. Baines is near minimum prices and will start for the suspended DeAndre Ayton, with it exceedingly unlikely that Frank Kaminsky, the other alternative, can prevent Nikola Jokic from dominating inside. Because of ownership may be going to Daniel Theis, I'm intrigued by Robert Williams versus Toronto in a game in which there are 108.8 implied points for Boston. Williams also saw minutes off the bench as a backup to Enes Kanter, and while Theis is a far more likely candidate to take a big minutes load, Williams averages 1.04 fantasy points per minute, and he can be productive if he ends up with 20 minutes. And a higher priced dart throw that intrigues me after his big debut is Kyrie Irving versus the Knicks in a game in which there are 117.7 implied points for Brooklyn. Irving's price is up after his 50-point Brooklyn debut with a 37% usage rate. Now he faces a Knicks team with iffy point guard defense who also played at a fast 110.4 pace in their debut. So that's what I'm seeing so far for tonight's slate. So right now, please hit that like button. And if you want to win a free month of Osmo Plus courtesy of SuperDraft, like this video and comment your top value play according to DraftKings salaries down below. And since SuperDraft is bringing you these videos, go support them right now. Head over to superdraft.com right now and use the promo code OSMO to get $20 free on any $100 or more deposit. You can also play their multiplier games, which are about as simple as you can get. You're just picking players, not worried about salaries. So check out those tournaments, which have had a ton of overlay, a great way to build bankroll, and support superdraft.com right now because they are the presenting sponsor of the Four Corners. And if you'd like some ownership projections or player projections right from Osmo himself, you can use this promo code SWITCH and head hedge for half off your first month of Osmo Plus. Go to osmo.com/join and find packages that work for you as low as $3.95 a week. So head to osmo.com/join right now. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I've got 4 shows today, so that's why I'm talking even faster than usual. So check out what I'm doing today, including On the Contrary, an NFL video, and Live Before Lock on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'll be back with all that content on our YouTube channel today, and I'll be back with another 4 Corners on Monday. So I'll see you guys then. Hope you have a great weekend, and of course, good luck.